The Velma is a lesbian animated movie. I think it's called Trick or Treat Scooby Doo, but that's not the important part. The important part is Velma gets to be a lesbian. Good for her, girl. Good for her. I mean, it's been 50 going on 60 years of this character. So, yeah, finally happened. But I am also happy to say that not only the tagline is what makes this movie interesting and likable. I gotta say, I've been watching Scooby Doo since I was little. It has a rich, vast history of hits and misses, swings out of the ballpark of great content, and some really horrible, horrible stuff. Yeah, I'm happy to say that you can't really disappoint me in a Scooby Doo movie. At worst, you can be a little boring, but it's hard because this great, great lineage has so much already. Ah, yeah, that's one of the things I love about watching Scooby Doo, even in my, like, oh, God, I'm in my 30s. When did that happen? But anyway. So, yes. Most people snatched onto this movie because they wanted to see, like, lesbian Velma. But I'm happy to say there's even more to this. This is one of the weirdest and magicalest Scooby Doo movies I've seen yet. The magic really mostly comes from how interesting Coco Diablo is. She really is. Like, even if she wasn't Velma's love interest in this, she would still be a character that I can see fans loving from years to come. Okay, she's gonna be a breakout hit. She's won me over. Now, here are some spoilers of her characters, but really. Scooby-Doo. You know how in the 70s cartoon, or I guess in most Scooby-Doo movies, there was always some man, most of the time a man, trying to get some real estate deal around? Yeah, and instead of just, getting the paperwork, getting a lawyer, making a compromise, he would put on some elaborate ghost haunting thing with a monster with some really weird sci-fi stuff happening to it. Now, I always thought, okay, yeah, these people really experimented with and would rather put in the Jimmy Neutron-like ingenuity to make these crazy costumes than just signing some paperwork and making some compromises in their life. No. Instead, they apparently hired Miss Coco Diablo to make their crazy costumes. Now, what's interesting about Coco is she's like Edna Mode. She makes supervillain costumes. Not only does she design them to be cool, but she also puts in the special features and all. And like our dear Edna, she's a narcissist. A lovable narcissist, though, but yeah, she's super smart. She's very proud of her work. She doesn't really like anyone else except her cat. More on the cat. The cat's amazing. So yeah, even if she wasn't a love interest, they just put a lot of love in her design. Her design is cute as heck. I love the red, the gloves, the long blonde hair whooshing in the wind. Ugh. Goodness. Oh, and the animation on her is gorgeous. This is what people miss with traditional animation, the 2D hand-drawn love of it. I try not to get all heartsick about, movies not being, animated movies not being traditionally animated anymore because CG has its merits. It does. But watching this movie, I remember what I love about traditional animated movie, how fluid it is, how strong, how incredibly rich it is. Like Coco's hair and her fingers and her expressions of her face are so much fun. Oh, and the fact that they can do that all is just so cool. CG has only recently really gotten to that level, but goodness. I don't want to demonize CG and I don't want to cry about the lack of traditional animation, but this character, mostly Coco, the rest of the movie is done, it's animated well, but Coco has the most fluid animation. It reminds me why I miss it and why, yeah, we should ask for it back or encourage companies that do make it. Because, yeah, it's really a treat to watch. Now, Coco and Velma, pretty easy to ship. Velma is an absolute lovesick puppy from the first view of it. She loves that Coco is brilliant and that she's hot. And, yeah, she acts all glittery and goofy and just all the moon eyes you can get, and it's incredibly endearing to me. I think it's cute as heck. So, yes, I'm happy that, fans will have this, that Velma gets this joy in her heart. I was deeply worried when this was first announced that Coco would pretend to be nice and, break Velma's heart by being the bad guy. But instead, their first meeting when Velma and the gang are arresting Coco, and through the whole thing, Velma doesn't care that, or, she has a gray morality. She just thinks Coco is interesting, and I think Coco is interesting. And yes, she might be an evil villain, but she's interesting and she does treat Velma pretty well. Like, she brushes her off at first, but she respects that Velma is the brainy one, and she's really sweet. So, yeah, it's really cute. Yeah, I can ship them. Spoiler alert, there's no kiss, there's no phone numbers exchanged, none of that. There are a lot of really cute shippable scenes between them, but no. Now, a little voice in my head, this cynical, angry voice, says that, if this was a male love interest, Velma would get a little more affectionate action. I mean, that one time where Shaggy and Scooby fell in love with aliens, they got a whole song and dance number about it, but no. It's okay. It's okay. From what I got, and I could not really imagine getting this much, I am very content because Velma was just really cute as a lovesick puppy. And again, I'm hoping, like the Hex Girls, that Coco will come back for future, installments and such. Apparently, if she's, working behind the bad guys, they'll always see her. Oh god, it's almost like she's Catwoman. So cute. So cute. Other things that make this Trick or Treat movie interesting and memorable is how it uses a lot of weird cringe and meta humor in this movie. And those are the kind of things about the new millennia that I cannot stand. I really cannot. They do not make me laugh. I just find them eye-rolly and annoying. But what makes this movie tolerable with all that is the gang still continues to be pretty smart. They have their quirks, of course, but they actually are aware of their situations. They take responsibility for them. They are kind to the people that they are investigating. Yes, everything is done pretty respectfully. Like they are polite to almost everyone they meet. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Fred isn't obnoxiously bossy as much as he is just desperate for the fun of a mystery. Shaggy and Scooby are obsessed with, eating, of course. It's Halloween, and even though Shaggy's a grown-ass man, he would rather go trick-or-treating. Freaking weirdo. But he does pick his friends over the candy every time, and that part's nice. Scooby, he, of course, hates Coco's cat, but Coco's cat, Esteban, is hilarious. He has, these deadpan, angry little eyes. He's Coco's sidekick with everything, and yeah, the way he kind of just, pushes off Scooby is just so wonderful. Oh, and the fact that Scooby actually acts like a dog is so... I always love when Scooby actually acts like a dog. Yes, he can talk. Yes, he is an anthropomorphic dog, but when he actually sniffs and does doggy things, a little part of my heart glows. This one movie really tried to remind you of what was fun about, the 60s version, but it's a tiny thing. I missed hearing Shaggy say, "Oh, buddy, old pal of mine." I don't know, he didn't sound so much like the Shaggy. Maybe a different voice actor, or maybe I shouldn't expect so much. Okay, you can't get the same voice actors for 50 years straight. God, I cannot wait till somebody takes over Scooby-Doo. I'm sure there are lots of voice actors who are good at it by now. Oh, and Daphne is pretty helpful in this movie. More so, in the beginning, she's having kind of I'm valuable, and she proves it, by helping everyone out and being quick thinking. But I always thought I always thought Daphne's role wasn't just eye candy, but she was the pocketbook. She was there to, pay for the hotels and get people in with her connections. I always thought of her as, okay, yeah, that's what we have Daphne. She gets you into places. But no, instead this one focuses more on how she's just smart. And yeah, Velma is smart too, but she's more of the I can MacGyver any situation to make it better. And she's more shy and goofy, where Daphne's a little more mature. Their friendship over the years has always been really sweet to me. I'm happy I've never really seen a Scooby-Doo thing where Daphne was patronizing to Velma and such like that. I worry a bit that that's what's going to happen in the new Velma series because of hints that I've seen, but from what I know about them, I think it's really, really sweet. Yeah. So, do I recommend this movie to anyone? I think it's absolutely silly enough for kids to appreciate, yes. I think that the conversations and the script of it, adult fans can appreciate too. For Scooby Doo fans, you probably will just see it because of this milestone for Velma, and I don't know, maybe if you're like a die-hard Scooby Doo fan, you'll recognize the names of the old bad guys that are mentioned. Yeah, some parts of the animation besides Coco are a little weird. For the whole thing, it's pretty good and fluid despite wanting to look like its 60s counterpart, where the animation there was incredibly limited. Technology, budget, what have you. Whereas this one, it has the budget and it has the skilled animators, but they don't try that much if not necessary, which is fine. You don't want everything to be a gorgeous moment of motion, but not everything has to be a dance. Story-wise, it's a bit of a goofy stretch, but yes, the conversations with it and how the gang actually uses logic and common sense throughout this thing is the relief to its horrible cringe humor. So, it's an okay movie. It really is. If you don't want to watch it and you just want to admire Coco for how she is, that's fine, but her voice acting and her actual interactions with the other characters is a lot of fun. So, I'm happy I saw it. I might see it again.